Hey guys, I am coming to show you how I did my resin epoxy. Let me take my glasses off. My resin epoxy notebook. I actually call it my journal because that's what I'm going to use it for. But I've already mixed my epoxy here. I don't educate on how to mix epoxy. So that part you'll have to find Google, YouTube to see the process if you don't know how. However, I will show you the rest of the process. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glitter to my epoxy here so that I can get some color. And I'm just going to do just a few little colors of glitter. Try not to get too far away from my initial cover that I did for the front. So I'll show you what the front cover will look like. This is the front cover of my notepad. And now I'm making the back cover, okay, of my notepad. So that's the front, and this is the front side of that front. So, and I think I'm going to throw a little bit of silver over in here. So yeah, if you don't, and you've never mixed epoxy, guys, please look it up to find out how you do that. And then make sure that you handle yourself accordingly for mixing epoxy. So I already have mine mixed. I know just about how much I'm gonna need from mixing from doing the first cover. And I hope you guys can hear me okay with this mask on my face. I just hate the smell of epoxy, even though I have this big window open for ventilation. Just making sure I got my glitter all up and in here. All up and in here real good. Okay. So it's looking good. It's looking good. I'm trying to think if I want to add anything else. I think I'm going to hit it with a little bit of color. There's a little bit of alcohol ink. I thought I grabbed the yellow, but I guess I didn't. I grabbed the red, but I'm just going to put a tad bit because I do have a hint of this over in my front cover. So I want to get the back cover as close to the front as possible without it being a complete wreck. Okay, so this is the notebook cover that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I paid $16.99 for it. And it was $16.99. It comes with 3 different notebook cover sizes. This is the largest of all of them. And then it also comes with like a few 3-ring binders for you to place here. And it also comes with bookmarks. So if you want to make a resin bookmark to match your book cover, then it comes with that as well. Now with these, you can put alcohol ink, you can put glitter, you can put little beads and trinkets and stuff like that. You can see on this one, I actually put this little flower in. And this notebook cover, it took 2 applications. So what I do is I do my first application with the beads, glitter, and all that. And then I take and I do printable vinyl in the form of an image. And then I put that on the second application because I don't want the glitter and the beading and all that kind of stuff to take away from the image. So that's why I do 2 applications. So this is just going to walk through the very first application. And then I'll come back in another video and do the latter half because this has to dry overnight. It has to cure overnight before you can actually, start that next process. So all I'm going to do is just go like up and down here. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. just like that. And epoxy is self-leveling, so it will continue to level out in the, until everything is covered pretty much, as long as you have enough resin. So I'm going to use my silicone brush to kind of help it along here in just a minute, and hopefully I got it enough that I don't have to mix it again, but if I do, I may have to just hit it lightly. So I ordered these silicone brushes off of Amazon, and they were $6.99 for 4 of them. And so the silicone brush is to kind of help you when you're using the epoxy, and you don't have to worry about brushes getting all sticky or brushes leaving, the brush marks in your epoxy. So I'm just going to take the silicone brush and kind of scoop away, or not scoop away, but kind of brush around to help the epoxy to kind of move around. And I don't have to worry about if it's thin, because when I hit it with the second application, it will give it the thickness that I need it to have. But right now I'm just trying to get it to where it covers up my, that I have coverage on everything. So I'm just using the silicone brush to kind of help it get in the areas that it did not flow freely. And I knew that was going to happen. I knew it because I was looking right at it when I saw it kind of like falling. So let me see if I can get it to sit up here without falling down. All right, so that's better. So hopefully you guys can see here. But all I'm doing is just using the silicone brush to push it into the areas that it did not flow to. And I'll hit it with my heat gun to even help it along further. So I don't have to worry too much about some of the areas being a little bit thinner, because once I come back and do the full application, or not the full application, but the next application, I'll make sure that everything is completely covered. So I love this silicone brush. Like, I should have bought these a long time ago. Let's set that right there for a moment, and I'm going to use some of the same little beadings. They're not really beads. I don't know what you call these things. I would be lying if I told you that I did, because I don't. But the name will come to me, I'm pretty sure, after I get off of the recording here. So I'm just going to drop a few of these over so that it can match the front cover and not be so far off. And the front cover I just did, different colors like I'm doing now. And I don't want that to drop in there. All right. So I'm just going to hang this down for a second so you can see how I've placed the little trinkets over in there. And again, I'm just making sure that I'm helping this epoxy along here. I don't know, it's something about this alcohol ink that sometimes it'll like break up the epoxy like this, or separate the epoxy. So when I hit it with my heat gun, it's gonna get right, trust me. All right. So it looks pretty plain right now, just like yesterday. But once I add the second application with my decal, my image decal, then it's gonna look a whole lot prettier. But I don't want to put a whole lot, because then it's going to be too much and it defeats the purpose of using epoxy. You still want to have it to have like that kind of clear, kind of look to it, but you know, with all your little pretty little trinkets and stuff in there. So I will I don't want to just cover up everything to where it is. I'll kind of separate some of these greens because they're like hanging out like, hey. And there we go. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of this blue. Oh, nope, I'm going to add some of this green. Because this is emerald. It's actually an emerald mix. I'm going to add a little bit of that for a little bit more color. Because I got a little bit of this in the other one. So you see, hopefully, you can see how this epoxy has kind of leveled out to where it's not just in certain areas. And this silicone brush, it really helped it. So I'm really glad that I finally invested in those. Because I would see other people using them and be like, no, I'm not buying that. And then one day I started to just buy some paint brushes, but trust me, it's not the same. And it doesn't act the same either. Your silicone, you can get the epoxy off of it and not have to worry about the bristle brushes being all stuck together, because there are no bristle brushes. Okay. I still feel like I'm missing something. So let me think for a minute. Still looks a little not as dark as this one. So let me grab one more color. I'll be right back. Or maybe, you know what? I'm gonna try a little red. Maybe the red will help it, because I did not add red in the other one. So maybe this will give it a little pizzazz that I'm looking for. I'm not going to put a whole lot. Oh yeah, that's going to be pretty. That's exactly what I needed. And then what I will do is when I get this one dry, I'll start the video out with this one so you can see what it ended up looking like. Oh yeah, that red is going to be gorgeous. I'm going to show you here in just a minute. I might put a little bit more red right up in that corner. But kind of let you see here. So you can see the little swirls of red to give it a little color. And even though it's not yellow, it's still going to be pretty. I'm going to put a little bit right up here. And then I'm going to swirl it around. Try not to shake a whole lot. And then I shake a whole lot. Alrighty. So again, just using my little popsicle stick here to make some swirls. Alright, now I'm going to hit this with my heat gun, but for right now I'll show you what it looks like so you guys can kind of see here. Hopefully you can see that. Go over here. There you go. Alright, so that's it for now. And like I said, I'll start the next video with it dried so you can see how it actually turned out when I get ready to put the next application along with my decal. It's going to be beautiful, just like that one. All right, guys, see you in a bit. And, well, not in a bit, but see you tomorrow for the rest of this video. All right, have a good one. Bye.